Our speaker this evening actually sat here at her all-section dinner in 2011. In 2011, she was the Section 1 Player of the Year. She went on to play volleyball at the University of Virginia, where she graduated in 2016. She went then to the Netherlands, to Erasmus University, where she got her master's degree in 2017. She currently works in Washington, D.C. as a sales development representative. As her former coach, I was always able to call her my player. Now she's a young woman, and I'm glad I can call her my friend, Vivian Burchescu.
Thank you, Chloe, and thank you everybody for being here today to celebrate a group of truly talented, hardworking, and passionate young athletes. Some of you may know me as Yvette's sister, and I do wear that reputation with so much pride, but I too played volleyball at Panas not too many years ago. I am so glad that even after I graduated, I still got to feel like part of the high school volleyball family through my sisters. Because of them, it didn't have to be such a sudden end to an incredible era. When you girls at Panas won states last year, my best friend, Gina O'Neill, who also happened to play Panas volleyball, and I really felt like a part of it. Winning a state championship does not happen over a single season, or even a single year. Winning states is something that I know Philippe has been working towards for almost a decade. When I was a freshman, the culture at Panas volleyball started to change. More girls started playing club and staying for extra workouts and committing to the program for the long run. We went from losing almost every game my freshman year to making it to sectional finals my junior year. That was the furthest we got, and it took 4 years of hard work from an incredibly dedicated team led by an even more dedicated coach. 4 years after I graduated, Gina and I watched the Facebook live stream of Panas in the state finals and watched what felt like a culmination of 8 years of effort finally pay off with the ultimate goal. These memories with your team, on and off the court, stay with you forever, and so will the lessons learned along the way. As a middle, I think you learn to have this irrational sense of hope, almost an unwavering sense of conviction to the process. I remember the first time, I think it was Joel Stanford, who explained to me that the middle has to jump every single play because they don't know if they'll get set until after they jump. That is crazy. How and why would somebody go through all the effort of jumping every time when they don't know if they'll get set? Despite my skepticism, I trusted my coach and forced myself to go through what felt like ridiculous motions. And over time, I started to believe in myself. Every single play, I went full speed ahead and yelled for the set, and I truly believed that I was going to get set, despite the ball repeatedly flying past me to the outside. I kept jumping and I kept expecting it. An unwavering conviction that you will be the one to score will get you far, on the court and off. If you focus on what you can control and your input and your confidence in yourself, then you will go far. It does not matter what the circumstances are or what the people around you are doing. You play your game. You go full speed ahead, keep your foot on the gas, so that when there is an opportunity to score, you are ready and you take it. Do what you can with what you have where you're at. Sometimes you will do this and you won't get the outcome you are hoping for, but if you stay consistent and work hard, good things will come. Stay hopeful and keep fighting because your limits are so much further than you think. Anyone who has done the blue lip drill or coach on one or has been told to get on the line again knows that. Sure, you feel like you're dying after just a few minutes, but somehow you're not. And somehow you keep going for still another few minutes. You get a second wind, somehow, because you are a fighter. And when you feel like giving up, there's still so much more you can accomplish. These are the lessons I thought I learned in high school. Then I got to college. Thanks to this great volleyball program we have here in Section 1, I did get there with an idea of what it means to work my butt off and to compete. But the reality was that everyone else in college also had that. Even the players on the bench are fighters who put in 100% every single day and expect the ball every single time. You may think you have learned these lessons already, but you never really stop learning them. College players are so hopeful. You will never meet a player who does not genuinely believe that their team is going to make it to the top. They act and practice like champions all the time. In college, I realized how much effort has to go into what often amounts to just a few hours a month of glory, if you're lucky. As athletes, we go through hundreds of reps and hours of film that might literally amount to just a few extra points scored, but it is so worth it. In college volleyball, you realize how much you got away with in high school. You girls are the best of the best here. You can often rely on your athleticism and your skill to hide the fact that you didn't really get right behind the ball, or that you didn't really fully extend your arm. In college, there's nowhere to hide. Everyone is just as, if not more prepared than you are. So even the difference between the best and the worst teams in the conference comes down to the little things you got away with in high school. Ambition is a race you choose to run. You've all repeatedly made the choice to be ambitious and to be great. But remember, there are many ways to run that race. Volleyball is not the only way to be competitive, or to make a name for yourself. When I stopped playing volleyball, I sought out other ways to fulfill my ambition and push the limits I'd gotten so used to pushing in practices and games. I moved to Switzerland and then to the Netherlands for a combined 2 years of study abroad, internships, and a master's degree. Without volleyball, I would never have had the confidence to leave my friends and my family behind to do something completely on my own, so far out of my comfort zone. But I knew that I could. I had this unwavering conviction that I could succeed no matter where I was. This first move was a little less risky with the study abroad program, but you can imagine my mom's surprise when I told her I would be postponing my flight home to live and work in Rotterdam for another 6 months. Those years abroad were complete turnarounds of my life as a college athlete. I went from one end of the spectrum with a completely disciplined, team-centered schedule to being completely on my own. I learned how to build a life without competitive volleyball, but with the lessons I learned from it. Some of you will go on to play professionally or to become lifelong coaches. But the reality is, volleyball as you know it will come to an end. One of the things that surprised me most when I stopped playing competitively was my confusion and how to answer the question, are you a volleyball player? Because, well, yes, but how much time actually has to pass before the answer to that question is no? Yeah. If I'm not a volleyball player, then what am I? If I can't point to my success on the court, then what do I point to? This is where you'll be challenged to put the lessons you've learned in volleyball into action. The volleyball player part of you will never die. It will adapt. You will still push your limits and have the confidence to go full speed ahead, but in a new role. Everyone in here knows the pain of thinking they could have done more, and that is the worst feeling in the world. Wherever life takes you after this, put your heart and soul into it. Be the rock star you know you are. Never stop challenging yourself, never stop fighting, and never lose your unwavering sense of hope and conviction. Congratulations, volleyball players, coaches, and parents on your success this season. Thank you.